Previously on X-Men.
Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. Finally back to talk more about our ongoing exploration into the X-Men, the animated series' version of the Phoenix Saga and the Dark Phoenix Saga, which we'll be tackling immediately after this. Sorry for the wait, everybody. Like I said, I've been going through a lot of stuff. But we're back with part 3 called The Cry of the Banshee. So last time where we left off, Professor X's dark side had gotten loose, running rampant, while Eric the Red is trying to get Lilandra, and it's just all crazy. And at the end, Juggernaut crashes through on Muir Island because Professor X can't be trusted, and so he goes there, and Lilandra shows up just when right then Juggernaut comes in, and we jump in from there. So right away, Juggernaut's trashing the place. Moira and Sean Cassidy, Banshee, they're having like a moment. They're afraid of Charles. Banshee's more afraid of Charles, like hurting her. So they go in there to try to, make sure Charles is all right, not going to hurt her or anybody else. And what they don't know is that Juggernaut's ripping up the place here. And Xavier, though, knows that this is his brother, and that the only way to get him is to knock his helmet off right now, because he's pretty much invulnerable because of what he has. The crystal that, everybody's looking for crystals, and Juggernaut's crystal makes him pretty much impossible to destroy. And for some reason, the name of his crystal's escaping me, and that makes me mad. But she finally gets the helmet off, and Charles is trying to get inside Juggernaut's head, because now that's pretty much the only way to stop him in this case. But what Charles doesn't know is that Juggernaut has a partner, and his name is Black Tom Cassidy. Now, Black Tom Cassidy is a long-time X-Men villain, and it's so cool to see him here. He's the cousin of Banshee. His first appearance was in X-Men number 99 in June of 1976, and he was created by Chris Claremont and Dave Cockrum. Great name. And he's got these powers that it's like plant manipulation and biokinetic energy through plant life. So he can kind of control plants, and he has this, he can create force fields, energy enhanced strikes. And he uses this stick. He always walks around with this stick and fires it. He's kind of like Gambit, except he doesn't throw cards and stuff. And it's through plants. Throughout the years, he's had a lot of crazy stuff happen to him. In fact, I believe at one point plants kind of took him over. He's been killed multiple times. He's fought the X-Men and X-Force and Deadpool a bunch of times. He's kind of been a lot, later on, he was kind of a staple of Deadpool. But it's really cool that he's here. Imagine everybody talking with Scottish accents, because Sean Cassidy, Banshee, they're all from the same area. And so it's kind of cool having different nationalities represented in this. But he blasts Charles from behind. And I'm switching between my notes because I got a lot of them here. And so they get, the upper hand on Charles. And they just want the money. They were paid to kidnap Lilandra for Eric the Red. And so they get her, and Charles gets tossed out the window by Juggernaut because he's been wanting to do that to his brother for a long time. No one, I don't know if you don't know this, Juggernaut is Kane Marco. He's the stepbrother of Charles Xavier, and he's always been a bully and a piece of crap. But he was created this way. He was made this way into a bully, and it just kind of fucked him up. And Juggernaut himself, even right now, like recently, kind of took the side of the heroes because there really was no other choice recently. But he's basically just been an asshole his whole fucking life. So they come in. Banshee sees Charles flying out the window and uses his sonic scream, to fly and catch Charles. Now, actually seeing the scream put to use is pretty hilarious because it's just like, a guy flying and just going like, ah! So it's like, he sounds like he's falling, but he's flying. And now just imagine that all the time, like, you'd always know when he's coming. So like Black Cassidy, Banshee's not really a stealth fighter. He does have like a kind of a military background, so he could, if he didn't want to use his powers, he could, be all right. But they don't, he catches Charles, and he's trying to tell him, Lalandra was here, Juggernaut came and took her. I mean, there's evidence of something happening, and they're just like, no, man, you're just being delusional. We can't trust you. And they're just like, look at the fucking hole in the wall. What? Nothing happened. It's just Charles being Charles. So anyway, meanwhile, we got everybody back, all the X-Men back in New York, where Jean's Phoenix transformation is growing and getting bigger. And Rogue comes in, she's blaming herself because, yeah, she could have helped. She could have flown the space shuttle. But in the original comic, Rogue wasn't even part of the team yet. They're mixing the 90s team with the old story. It's one of the only real, major, there's no way to tell this story in full for the cartoon show unless they just wanted to call it the X-Men Phoenix Saga show. So you have to make some concessions here. So Rogue blames herself, and Chuck wants to help, but the team is torn because, half of them don't, like Storm's going, well, Moira's telling us that, you're full of shit, and, Charles is full of shit, he's delusional, we can't trust him. Wolverine's like, dude, Charles says something's wrong, we gotta at least check it out. And so the team is divided because they've been divided ever since Charles wasn't being on the up and up about what was going on. But in a crazy turn of events, which I know it sounds weird saying crazy about this, but Cyclops actually sides with Wolverine here because somebody's got to do something. Scott's got to stay with Jean, and so they can't just let this sit. So Storm stays behind, and the rest of the team head off to find out what's going on with Chuck. Now this is where Black Tom meets up with Eric the Red to get his payment. But immediately Eric the Red just backstabs at Black Tom, not knowing that Black Tom has a partner. And so he's basically going to just take the lady, shoot Black Tom. If he doesn't like it, he'll kill him. He's got the zombie, they call it the zombie space station guys. Real clever. But they don't, what Eric doesn't know is Juggernaut's right behind him. It's that whole, he's right behind me, isn't he, kind of joke. Picks him up and starts crushing him and everything. And, Eric's trying to use the space station zombies to blast Juggernaut, which is, useless. And so he finally relents and decides to pay Black Tom. But, it's, what are you going to do? He's going to, Eric the Red is a very cocky character, but Juggernaut would just snap him in two eventually. So, meanwhile, sorry, I can't help myself. I just want to, it makes me think of meanwhile, with the Hall of Justice, from the old Super Friends show. The X-Men arrive at Muir Island, where Wolverine's like, look, man, this is all a bunch of outer space mumbo jumbo, so, if you see a lady that looks like she's from another galaxy, she's the one that's we're supposed to rescue. Banshee then threatens Wolverine because Wolverine's being Wolverine. Somebody needs to teach you some manners. Or I can't do the accent. It would be like, oh, I'm not going to do the Scottish thing. It's too late in the day. But he threatens Wolverine, and Wolverine's basically like, snicked, motherfucker. Better people have tried than you. We also find out that the money that Juggernaut and Black Tom Cassidy were paid is 10 million bucks. Not too bad for 1994. But one thing I really want to mention here in this is that it's really cool how when Juggernaut walks, even though it's just a noise, the way the noise is and timed right, you can really feel the weight of Juggernaut when he walks on the cartoon. And I thought that was really cool because it's just through audio, but it's not too overpowering. It's really nice. Lalandra, in an effort to escape, knowing she can't just run, tries to contact Charles through her connection that they made psychically, staring at the crest, the house crest of Cassidy. But also Wolverine smells the truth. He smells Juggernaut, so he's like, yeah, and two other people that he doesn't know, which would be Black Tom and Lalandra, and one of them ain't human. So they all start to one by one realize that Charles is not full of shit. And even Banshee then, once they realize about the crest, that it's the dragon and the stag, that it's Black Tom Cassidy, his cousin, who has Lalandra right now. Now, yeah, because he's related to her. Yeah, I wrote that down. Sorry. Just trying to make sure I keep my place here. Man, do I have something like that in there? Anyway, so they go to where Black Tom is at the castle keep of Cassidy. And it's funny because, again, he's just flying the whole team. Well, the whole team's flying there. Rogue's got, like, Gambit and Jubilee. And Banshee's carrying Wolverine, who's got, like, his hands over his head. And Banshee's still alone, like, ah! It's just so funny. Because now, like, when you see it like this, I don't know if you could ever do Banshee in the MCU unless you just, like, I don't know. It would have to be better. But this is a 90s cartoon show for kids, so I didn't really have enough time to think about how the scream would sound, but it's pretty fucking hilarious. And Wolverine even says, with a mouth like yours, we should have just tried to sneak in with a marching band. But Banshee goes wild and just blasting everything up with his sonic powers. Now, his sonic powers are so strong that he's able to, like, incapacitate the space station zombies and crumble their guns. Now, I don't know how that works, but unless they were made of some sort of polymer that's like glass or something. But everybody starts fighting, and this is a pretty cool... I love the way that they choreograph this with multiple people fighting each other. Rogue grabs Juggernaut and starts smashing him through the whole castle, and they show it. You know, it's like boom, 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 all the way through, and it's really cool. And yeah, I'm playing it as usual behind me, and they haven't copyright strike me, so, you know, knock on wood. You know, so... The bad guys, though, they eventually grab Lalandra and run. Eric the Red tosses a freeze grenade at everybody, which temporarily freezes them. Wolverine just busts out, like, Rah! It's pretty cool. But someone else is coming, another third party. So all this shit just keeps piling up. It is so freaking a lot going on. And it's Gladiator. Now, Gladiator... He's this guy that you're going to see on the screen behind me. He's got this, like, mohawk head. He's part of the Shi'ar Empire. He's, like, the head of the Praetorian Guard. And he's a pretty badass character. And he also has been, like, depending on whose side he's on, has been a hero and a villain. Mostly a hero, but he's so loyal that, like, even if he doesn't agree, it's, like, basically whoever has power has control over him. And he's not even a Shi'ar guy. He's a Strontian. Strontian, man, Strontian. So I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he was first seen in October of 1977 in X-Men number 107, and he's basically like an intergalactic Superman. He's got strength, speed, flight, stamina. He can shoot beams out of his eyes, and he's got psionic abilities, and he is voiced terribly on this show. His performance, like, you see him and you think he's gonna be like powerful sounding, and he's just like a guy. Just sounds like a guy. Hey man, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but I gotta work for this guy over here, and but it's more like, I have to do this. But it's like there's no emphaticness to anything of what he says. It's so matter of fact. And maybe they were thinking that because he comes from space that he would just be kind of like plain sounding, but that guy had no, like, they didn't give him like good direction on how to talk. But he is like so fucking boring to listen to. Well, he's pissed with Eric the Red because they should have the M-Crying Crystal right now. But they don't know that Jean's, being the Phoenix, is the protector of the M-Crying Crystal. And so in order to get to the crystal, they're going to have to... Man, there is something hanging out. It's part of my hat. That's great. That's gone. So he wants the M-Crying Crystal. Juggernaut calls Gladiator, "Hey, Mr. Bad Hair Day," and tries to threaten Gladiator, who proceeds to just pick Juggernaut up and fling him like he's nothing, like far across the entire, like past the horizon. Juggernaut just goes flying, and everybody's just like, what? So, and I'm just right now, like, Black Tom just instantly is like, I give up. I give up. Here's the lady on his knees. My master, my liege, take her. I'm taking my 10 million bucks and I'm bouncing. So, he's got Valandra. Valandra's basically trying to say, hey man, you know my brother Ken is like a bastard, right? You know, he's trying to destroy the universe. But Gladiator, again, his loyalty just to the side who's in charge. He's like, well, sorry man, but I'm gonna do what my boss wants me to do. And we head back to New York, where Jean's Phoenix powers are take over completely. And she's like, I gotta go, I gotta bounce because shit's going down in Scotland. This guy wants the M-Crying Crystal. Gladiator's here. And she shows up and she just fucks up Gladiator. Like, he's trying everything. He's using all his powers. His super breath is hilarious. He's all like... It's animated really strangely. But it comes across, you know what they're trying to do. But she basically just sends him, like, uses the Phoenix powers to just send him, like, flying through space. And they're like, well, okay, if he's here, my brother can't be far behind. And she's like, where is he? And she just points at the sky. Which is cool, because it made me think of, what was I watching recently, where they were just like, somebody had to point to where something was. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But she's the protector of the M-Crying Crystal that Ken wants. And Ken appears in space near, like, the moon through a wormhole in time and is ready to attack and get the crystal. But he does not know that the Phoenix is there protecting it. And so that is where we end part 3. And I mean, come on. That's awesome. Like, this is just part 3. This is part 3. We got 2 more parts left. And actually, I'm kind of going like, wow, how did they do, like, there's only 2 more parts. And then after that, there's a long break. And then the Phoenix Saga, the Dark Phoenix Saga starts. So, anyway, that's just, again, another taste of how this could go, or could have gone, if they had just put in a modicum of trying for the Phoenix Saga in the movies. And still compressing it. And not even having, like, all the original people involved. Like, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, I don't think Rogue was on the team back at this time. But if I'm wrong, go ahead and correct me. But I just don't remember that, because I know Gambit wasn't there, and I know Jubilee wasn't there. And I know and none of them were wearing their 90s costumes. And I actually realized that Beast is kind of missing in action in this. Yeah. So, anyway, that's part 3. So, I will be back doing part 4 pretty soon. I'm excited, and I'm motivated again. I gotta stop this. So, anyway, if you liked this review, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please join us and be a subscriber. Hit the bell for all notifications so you know whenever I've got videos up on the channel. You can find me at Twitter at Yesh8, that is YESSHH8. You can message me, tell me whatever you want. I'm still working on things. We've got a whole bunch of things in the works. I'm not going to make any promises like I haven't, or like trying to do like what's coming. I'm just going to make everything a surprise. That isn't, if I'm not already doing it, and I did have that video with the secret message in it, but I don't think anybody's figured it out yet. So, anyway, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews, and have a great day. We will see you on the next one. Otherwise, peace out. Bye.